Hello everyone, welcome to video lecture series of Communication Engineering, and today's topic is generation of vestigial sideband suppressed carrier signal. How VSP-SA signal is being generated. This is what we are talking about in this particular video. Let us begin. First, just to revise about what is VSP and how much bandwidth is required in this particular case. So you know that in case of the vestigial sideband modulation, there is a transmission. Information is being transmitted with the help of one complete sideband along with the vestige of the other sideband. So vestigial sideband modulation, it is the process where a part of signal, which is the vestige, it is modulated along with one of the sideband. In the case of the SSP-SC modulation, single sideband, only one sideband was transmitted. So what happened over there? Some of the low frequency components may be lost. That is why along with a one complete band, vestige or some part of the other band is also being transmitted. We have discussed the case of the audio and video signal. There was a requirement in the video signal. In the video signal, some of frequency components may be lost, so information may be lost over there. In this diagram, you can see this diagram number 1, it shows the spectrum of the message signal. You can draw it very nicely. Second is the spectrum of vestigial sideband signal is being shown, and here you can observe that upper sideband is transmitted as it is, while lower sideband is modified into vestigial sideband, and now full upper sideband and the vestigial of the lower sideband is being transmitted. So this is how you can draw the spectrum of the vestigial sideband signal. There are certain advantages of the vestigial sideband. See here, the constraint of the filters designing that have been relaxed because it allows the part of the lower sideband also. So practically it is very easy to design the filters. At the same time, it offers good phase characteristic. If you need to calculate the bandwidth requirement in the case of the vestigial sideband, yeah, you can calculate it very easily. As in the case of the SSP-SC, the bandwidth required was FM only, but here along with one sideband, vestigial portion is also being transmitted. So what is the bandwidth? That is the sum of FM plus FV. FM is the message bandwidth and FV is the width of the vestigial sideband. So you can say bandwidth requirement for VSP, vestigial sideband, is more than single sideband, but it is less than double sideband. Now let us understand how the VSP-SC signal is being generated, how the modulation is being done. First you need to draw the block diagram. Here you can see there is a product modulator. There are two inputs of the product modulator. One is the modulating signal. Modulating signal is the input message signal or the baseband signal, which is denoted by MT. There is a use of carrier oscillator. Carrier oscillator is generating a signal CT, being shown by number 2. This is written as AC cos 2 pi FCT. Product modulator multiplies these two signals and produces at the output double sideband suppressed carrier signal, and then this DSP-SC signal is applied to a sideband shaping filter, and at the output you will be getting the VSP-SC signal. It means first we need to generate a DSP-SC signal with the help of the product modulator, then apply this to the band shaping filter, and at the output you will be getting vestigial sideband suppressed carrier signal. So here for mathematical representation, first if MT is the modulating signal and CT is the carrier signal, which is being written as AC cos 2 pi FCT. So these two are applied to the product modulator. So first let us calculate what is the output of product modulator. The output of product modulator is denoted by XT, which is the sum of CT and MT. So output, this is what you have written, XT, which is the sum of CT into MT. Just you have substituted CT, which is AC cos 2 pi FC T into MT. Now we have to take the Fourier transform on both the sides. So when we are taking the Fourier transform, then this time domain will be converted into the frequency domain, means xf is what? AC upon 2 m f minus fc plus m of f plus fc. You can see this particular equation, which is represented by this xf. This is actually the equation of double sideband suppressed carrier frequency spectrum. One sideband is f minus fc, lower sideband, upper, next is the upper sideband, which is f plus fc. So it completely represents the equation of double sideband suppressed carrier, which is represented by xt over here. Now when it is being applied to the sideband shaping filter at the output, we are getting st. So before moving, you have to understand, if sideband shaping filter, its transfer function is written by hf, and the filter has an input xt, output is st. Then Fourier transform of xt is xf and Fourier transform of st is sf. Then mathematically we can write st is what? Xf into hf. This is what you can write. Now we have to substitute the value of xf over here. So substituting the value of xf, which we have written previously by taking the Fourier transform. So just substituting this particular value in equation number 1, you are getting this particular equation. It is being multiplied with hf. And if you observe, then this particular equation, it represents this equation of vestigial sideband suppressed carrier frequency spectrum. This is what our requirement was, right? It means the output of product modulator that is to be processed through a sideband filter, and at the output we will be getting vestigial sideband suppressed carrier frequency spectrum. Thank you so much for watching this video.